Live. Well, at least I'm beautiful this morning.
Lovely. You're lovely, dear.
Live and lovely from...
The way you look is the only thing that matters. Just a piece of meat.
Yes.
A rag of bone and a hank of almost hair.
I don't feel marvelous, but I look marvelous. Okay.
What does it feel marvelous?
Well, anyway, yes, here we are, only about a half an hour or so late, and we're in the parking lot of Sprouts once again. We had a Monday night magic class last night, which was quite a bit of fun, actually.
There were 5 whole people there.
We had 5 whole people.
And they were all whole, I think.
Yeah, they were whole, but they were quality people, I tell you.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yes, right.
Complete.
They're
not whole.
Not whole. They were holy. Yeah. But anyway, and then earlier this week, I guess it was Saturday, they came in, the Swedenborgians came and picked me.
The Swedenborgians.
I love the name, okay. Came and picked me up and took me to El Cerritos or wherever North Berkeley is. In a hovercraft. Oh, that sounds exotic.
Swedenborgians.
But I love the Swedenborgians. I spoke at the Swedenborg House in London many years ago.
I just wanted to say the word.
Yes. And I got, they gifted me with a beautiful, hardbound, big, thick edition of Swedenborg's Heaven and Hell, which I'm anxious to look into. But anyway.
The hell part especially.
The hell part, yes. I could tell them. Remember the old ad for a Christian radio show? It says, the subject of today's sermon is, do you know what hell is? Come in and hear our organist. Well, anyway, so that's that. And I'm going to turn it over to the wife of the lovely Lon DuQuette.
Well, that's even worth more.
Now
I'm worth something.
There she is, basking in the radiant light.
Yes, I've hitched my wagon to the star. Okay.
Well, it's been.
Okay. As you can tell, the beginning of last week was very hot, 110 or so. So I have this. It's not mine. It's the landlady's giant oleander hedge. Of course, it's poisonous, so you have to put rubber gloves on to prune it. And so it was 110. So I said, well. I started it. I've gotten 90% of it done.
It's 110, so I'm going to cut down a tree.
Well, I did that, but that's irrelevant. Yeah, it's also, why prune things that aren't even yours? And nobody really cares much. But it's in the alley, so but it was just getting too big, and it was full of dead wood, and mostly, it's therapeutic to do that. When you're in the mood for hacking and not for anything else, it's best to go hack.
Better hack the shrubbery than her husband. Yes.
That's how Lon thinks. So he didn't care I was out 110 while he was sitting in his air-conditioned office, but it was okay. Looking lovely. Well, I was in total sweatball. But no, it's therapeutic, and it's nice to have it done, because I swear it's gotten cooler at night now, and I'm thinking, oh God, 2 more weeks and winter is going to be back again for another 8.5 months. Which I did not complain about the heat. I complain about the cold. Heat, I can breathe.
We're surviving the heat.
I can breathe through my eyelids or something, but cold, no, I can't do that. Anyway, all you who live where it's really cold have no idea what I'm talking about. But all you who live where it's really warm probably do. So.
Yes, compared to the rest of the world, we're relatively, but we're old, spoiled, old people with aches and pains and all sorts of.
What is that? Makes me feel so good. No wonder I'm feeling of therapeutic chopping.
But anyway.
Oh, and speaking of therapeutic chopping, I also gave Lon a haircut which he has covered up. Don't show it now after a hat's been on it.
Here, I'll take it off. Tell me if.
No, it looks. Oh, he's scalped. Not. It's all smashed. But I gave him a haircut and a beard trim this week too because I was in the mood for chopping.
Yeah.
Once you get that way, you can't stop.
And I sat there very quietly. I didn't even complain when you nicked my ear.
Yes, you did. I didn't even have music on. No Dean Martin this time, I said. I was not in the mood for the Dean Martin.
That's serious when I can't put that's Amore on while I get my haircut.
We've done that for like decades. It has to be Dean Martin while I give him a haircut. Don't ask why. I don't know. Well, but not this time. A phase is over.
That's because I sang that song to you under your bedroom window.
Oh, yes, it is it, yes. You and your friend with your guitar.
Your bedroom window in Columbus, Nebraska.
When I was a senior in high school.
And we crept up and sang, "When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore."
He probably did it to everybody, but I didn't know that.
No, you were the chosen. You were the chosen.
Turn the camera off me now.
You were the chosen one. Actually,
there's going to be a show this morning that's not this stupid talk.
Well, it may even get stupider when I take over.
Do some therapeutic chopping this week. If you're in the mood.
Very good.
When everything else fails, chop.
Very good. Work it out Kabbalistically. CHOP.
What does that mean?
It's where you cleave through hard things and with a sharp thing.
Wow, what a genius. I'm going to go get vegetables.
Okay, go get some vegetables.
That I can cleave through with sharp things.
And if you're good, we'll go to the Goodwill.
That's right, I get to go to Goodwill today because it's only immediately hot and Lon won't die in the car because he won't come in any store.
I'll come in if you find something for me to try on or something. Okay. So,
well,
that never happens. Nothing fits anymore.
Well, if you moved, maybe.
Okay. We'll not air our dirty laundry here.
If you move below the neck, it would be below the chin. It would be different.
Lon can't exercise below the neck. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to turn the camera around.
Have a good week. Chop.
Okay. I love you, dear. Okay.
That's very sweet of you.
Yes, that's very sweet of me. So, okay, are you going to get out?
Maybe.
Out!
Oh, he's going to say bad things while I'm gone.
No. Oh, no. Anyway, now I've forgotten completely what I was going to do.
That's my purpose.
Yes, my purpose is to make you feel uncomfortable.
You do good at that. You do that naturally without trying.
Okay.
Since when the moon
hits your eye like a big... Here, I'll show you my haircut. When it's all brushed, it looks really good. But the beard trim, I feel like President Modi of India. Oh, here she comes back.
Looking to see if you can see my mask. I have another pair.
Yes, I have your mask.
Thank you. I have another one in my purse, but
Very good.
COVID's up again.
Yeah, COVID is really up in Sacramento. As a matter of fact, it's kind of been interfering with Monday Night Magic class. Anyway, at Monday Night Magic class, we are talking about the Thoth Tarot. Okay, and we're going through, actually I've got slides and stuff up and we're projected into the living room. And we have sort of bells and whistles and stuff. But we're going through Crowley's descriptions of the Thoth Tarot cards from the book, you know, the Book of Thoth. Now, if you've ever, at the beginning of your tarot studies, let's say you're a tarot student, or even a kind of a beginning Kabbalah student, and you heard about this Crowley character, and you know that the Crowley Thoth Tarot is, in any given year, the second most best-selling tarot deck in the world, and has been for 40-some years. And so you want to learn about the Thoth Tarot, and you heard so much about Crowley, and you get the Book of Thoth, hoping to find some good, immediately useful information about tarot. Ooh, if I get the Empress card, I'm going to get lucky, or Wheel of Fortune. Well, that's good luck for you. Or the Devil. Ooh, bad luck coming. You just want little stuff like that. But instead, you get a postgraduate treatise full of esoteric references to esoteric references from esoteric references, and talking about the nature of consciousness and the initiatory levels and abyss crossings and turning yourself into a Buddha, and you get a bunch of heavy stuff. Okay, and at first when you read it, you plow through it, and you get maybe an eighth of it. But the eighth of it that you get is really, really good, and it starts you on other trips down other rabbit holes that actually turn out to be pretty good too. And then a year later you read it again, and this time you get about 10% of it, and you go down a few more rabbit holes. And then you don't read it for 2 or 3 years because those other rabbit holes are taking up your study time. But maybe 5 years later, you decide to read the whole thing again, and you get 60% of it. Okay, and the 60% that you're getting is, you swear you never read that before. You swear you didn't. Yeah, that makes sense. Why didn't I get that before? It's a magic book, in other words. So we started with the Fool. Now, Crowley in the Book of Thoth not only has a score of pages talking about the Fool card, but he also has a mid-book appendix or appendices with whole sections of the Vision and the Voice, and whole sections from Liber Aleph, and other things that that comment on the more esoteric aspects of the cards. And truly, each card becomes, like I say, a postgraduate study. Now, the first early cards, the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Empress are all dealing with paths that are, oh, this is backwards. Oh God, I'm going to do something, and I hope I don't shut us off here. Okay, I'm not going to press finish, but I am going to turn it around so you can see this diagram here that I've done on a piece of scratch paper here. Okay, I'm gonna have a pencil pointer. I'll get my bat pointer. Okay, the trump cards are all these paths that join these 10 Sephira. But the earliest ones are the Fool card that goes from 1 to 2, and the Magician card that goes from 1 to 3, and the High Priestess card that goes from 1 to 6, and that's what we're going to talk about this morning, right there, okay? And the Empress card that goes from 3 to 2. All of those early cards deal with paths that are above the abyss, beyond where singularity has been transcended. Okay, the area right here, these 3, 1, 2, and 3, is called the supernal triad. And it's separated from the rest of the tree, first of all by these 6 here called a hexad, by an abyss. That's that squiggly pencil line right there. 1, 2, and 3 aren't really 1 and then 2 and then 3. 1, 2, and 3 is just one thinking about itself. It's a supernal triad. There is no duality. And the level of consciousness, initiatory level of consciousness associated with 3, 2, and 1. 3 is called the Master of the Temple. And 2 is called the Magus. Okay, in a sense, those two join together. Their ecstasy in their union is the melded bliss of the singularity itself, of Godhead, like that. So it's big stuff. So, number 3 is the opening act of the supernal triad. It's the opening act of union with Godhead. Okay? Now, Crowley will make reference to the Master of the Temple. He's talking about this level of consciousness. He'll make reference to the Magus, and not the Magus card, which is that one, but with the initiatory grade of Magus, and he's talking about number 2. And then he'll make reference to the Adept. And this is where it gets confusing, because you think the Adept, well, the Adept is a big guy. Well, it is a big guy, but the level of consciousness that he's usually referring to when he just uses the term Adept is number 6, where you get the Holy Guardian Angel, Adeptus Minor. And then he'll make reference sometimes to the Neophyte. And when he's talking about the Neophyte, he is probably talking about, a point right here, probably talking about number 10. That's the very, very, very beginning. So he's going to make mention to when the Master of the Temple takes a trip to become the Magus, he has to take in hand the Neophyte. In other words, it's like that vacuum cleaner monster in the Yellow Submarine that reaches back and grabs its ass with its nose and sucks itself in. The Magus, or the Master of the Temple, can't become a Magus unless he takes it all with him. takes even the neophyte in hand, because you never stop being who you woke up to be in any of these levels. You never stop being that. Oh, I'm missing a couple of paths there in my... I'll just fix that. Okay, there we go. I fixed that. So, I didn't mean to spend that much time doing this, but I did. Sorry for that digression. I'm going to set myself up here again, and I'm going to read to you from what Crowley said. He only writes a couple, it's not even 2 pages on the High Priestess card. And I'm going to share that with you. And you take a look at the High Priestess while I'm reading. I hope you can see that. This card is referred to the letter Gimel, which means a camel. The symbolism of the camel is explained later. I got to digress and tell you that in Aramaic, the word Gimel means camel, but it also means rope. Rope. It's easier for a rope to go through the eye of a needle. Jesus, why don't they use their heads? Okay. This card refers to the moon being the general feminine symbol, the symbol of the second order corresponding to the sun as the yoni does to the lingam. It's universal, and it goes from the highest to the lowest. Okay, so that's our Gimel, or is that one that goes from number 1 to number 6. Okay. Okay. It is a symbol, it is a symbol which we will recur frequently in these hieroglyphs. But in the earlier trumps, that's that 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the earlier trumps, the concern is with the nature above the abyss. The High Priestess is the first card which connects the supernal triad with the hexad, and her path, as shown in the diagram, makes a direct connection with the Father in his highest aspect and the Son, S-O-N, also S-U-N, in his most perfect manifestation. This path is in exact balance with the middle pillar. There is here, therefore, the purest and most exalted conception of the moon. Now, the moon waxes and wanes, so the moon has 2 aspects, 2 major aspects. The High Priestess is the moon in its highest aspect. The tarot card that's actually called the moon and is assigned anyway to the zodiac sign of Pisces is the moon in its lowest aspects. So that's why in tarot readings and things like that, when the moon shows up, moon card shows up in an afflicted position or in an uncomfortable position, usually indicates madness and craziness and hidden. It's moon in its spooky, icky aspect. Okay. The card represents the most spiritual form of Isis, the eternal virgin, the Artemis of the Greeks. She is clothed only in the luminous veil of light. Now, this is important, okay? She's veiled, but only in light. And from down here, light seems like a big, high thing. Move toward the light. Yeah, but the light is a veil too. But I'm getting ahead of myself. She's clothed only in the luminous veil of light. It's important for high initiation to regard this light not as the perfect manifestation of the eternal spirit, but rather as the veil which hides the spirit. On her knees is the bow of Artemis. Can we see that? Which is also a musical instrument, for she is the huntress and hunts by enchantment. Now regard this idea from behind the veil of light, from behind. Regard that idea as from behind the veil of light. The third veil of the original nothing. That original nothing is the Ein Sof R, the limitless light of the third negativity, even before one. Okay, so she is like the expression of Ein Sof R, even. She's kind of the lower octave of it. I would say manifest, but nothing gets manifested until it's below the abyss. Am I confusing you this morning? I apologize. This light is the menstruum of manifestation. It's not manifestation, it's the menstruum of manifestation. The goddess Nuit, the possibility of form. This first and most spiritual manifestation of the feminine takes to itself a masculine correlative by formulating in itself any geometric point from which to contemplate a possibility. It's a menstruum for a hadith. But I digress. Let's see. This virginal goddess is then potentially the goddess of fertility. She is the idea behind all form. As soon as the influence of the triad descends below the abyss, there is the completion of concrete idea. The following chapter of the Book of Lies, falsely so called, may assist the student to understand this doctrine by dint of meditation. Now, he includes two really brief chapters from the Book of Lies. This is my old 50-year-old Book of Lies here. And it's in 42. It's called Dust Devils. And here's what it says. In the wind of the mind arises the turbulence called I. It breaks. Down shower the barren thoughts. All life is choked. This desert is the abyss, wherein the universe, the stars, are but thistles in that waste. Yet this desert is but one spot, accursed in a world of bliss. Now and again, travelers cross the desert. They come from the great sea and go to the great sea. As they go, they spill water. One day they will irrigate the desert, and it will flower. See 5 footprints of a camel. Okay. There's a connection with the high priest right there, but the camel has that cloven hoof. So they leave a footprint that looks like a V. V, 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 which is the master of the temple. In Bina, number 3. The Bina is called the Great Sea. The masters of the temple come from the Great Sea, and to the Great Sea they return. Okay, his commentary on this, I'm not going to read it all, but just a few things. This is called Dust Devils, is the name of the chapter, and it's number 42, which is the number of the Great Curse. This number is said to be all hodgepodge and accursed. The chapter should be read most carefully in connection with the 10th Aether. That's Crowley's scrying of the 10th Aether of the Enochian, 30 Enochian Aethers. 10th Aether is where Crowley crossed the abyss. Okay. It is so that dramatic experience that it refers. The mind is called the wind because of its nature, has been frequently explained. Okay, I'm going to go here. The masters of the temple are now introduced. That's where they say travelers. And isn't it funny that Masons identify themselves sort of secretly? Oh, are you a traveling man? Or when a Mason sees another Mason's rings, they go say, oh, I see you travel. Okay. Masters of the temple are now introduced. They are inhabitants, not of this desert. The desert's the abyss. Their abode is not of this universe. The universe is below the abyss. They come from the great sea, Bina, the city of the pyramids. V is indicated as one of these travelers. He is described as a camel, not because of the connotation of the French form of the word, but because camel in Hebrew is in Hebrew Gimel. And Gimel is the path leading from Tifereth, number 6, to Kether, number 1, uniting the micro prosopis with the macro prosopis, i.e., performing the great work. The card Gimel in the tarot is the High Priestess, the Lady of Initiation. One might even say the Holy Guardian Angel. The High Priestess, one might even say the Holy Guardian Angel. The High Priestess, one might even say the Holy Guardian Angel. Okay, let me see. I know I'm boring you to death this morning with this. But I'm going to read on just a little bit more because there's not much more to read. For the classical description of this abyss, the student should consult Liber 48, or the Vision and the Voice, especially the 10th Aether. And that was in Equinox Volume 1, number 5, which I read last night for the class. At the bottom of the card, okay, accordingly, are shown nascent forms, whorls, crystals, seeds, pods, symbolizing the beginnings of life. In the midst is a camel. There's a camel right there. Looks like he's came right off of a cigarette package. In this card is the one link between the archetypal and formative worlds. Archetypal world of the supernal triad. Okay. And the formative world of the 6 Sephira below the abyss. Number 10 is even lower. Thus far, concerning this path, considered as issuing downwards from the crown, but to the aspirant, that is, to the adept, number 6, who is already in Tifereth, already got the Holy Guardian Angel. To him who has attained to the knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel, this path which leads is the path which leads upwards. So from the supernal triad's point of view, it's the path that leads downwards. But from the adept's point of view, or the person residing in number 6, right in the middle of that, the formative world, if you will, it's the path that leads upwards. This alternating flow of current is characteristic of all 22 paths, which simultaneously step up or step down the frequency of consciousness between the levels of consciousness indicated by each of the Sephiroth. The Holy Guardian. This is the path which leads upwards, and this card in one system, entitled the Priestess of the Silver Star, is symbolic of the thought, or rather the intelligible radiance of that angel. It is, in short, a symbol of the highest initiation. Now, it is the condition of initiation that its keys are to be communicated by those who possess them to all true aspirants. This card is verily the glyph of the work of the AA. And some idea of the formula is given in another chapter of the Book of Lies called The Oyster. And this is what I'm going to close with today, because the oyster is the source of many, almost like a riddle, and much misinterpretation and misspeculation. But here's what the oyster says. And the oyster is number 3 in the Book of Lies, chapter number 3. And number 3 is Gimel. And Crowley is trying to explain Gimel in this. The brothers of the AA are one with the mother of the child. The many is adorable to the one as the one is to the many. This is the love of these. Creation, parturition, is the bliss of the one. Coition, disillusion, is the bliss of the many. The all, thus interwoven of these, is bliss. Naught is beyond bliss. The man delights in uniting with the woman in parting with the child. The brothers of the AA are women. The aspirants to the AA are men. Now I'm going to read the last sentence of the paragraph just above that. It is, in short, a symbol of the highest initiation. Now, it is the condition of initiation that its keys are to be communicated by those who possess them. And in this case, the woman. To all aspirants, in this case, the man. The brothers of the AA are one with the mother and child. The brothers of the AA are women. The aspirants to the AA are men. Now, of course, we're not just talking about, oh, I'll always be an aspirant because I was, no. It's a bigger brother. It's a bigger man. It's a bigger, it's a bigger thing. It's an above the abyss thing of what gives and what takes. Okay, what teaches and what learns. Teacher's not a teacher unless there's somebody learning. Okay, I'm going to finish up. It's also important to reflect that this card is wholly feminine, wholly virginal, for it represents the influx and the means of manifestation, or from below, of attainment in itself. It represents possibility in its second stage without any beginning of consummation. It is especially to be observed that the 3 consecutive letters, Gimel, Daleth, and Hey, in the Hebrew alphabet, which are the tarot trumps, the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Star card, the God, are all goddesses. So it's important to be observed that the 3 consecutive letters, Gimel, Daleth, and Hey, ought to 2, 3, and 18 or 17 show the feminine symbol, yin. It's 3 forms composing a triune goddess. Put those cards up side by side. You got a triune goddess. This trinity is immediately followed in the tarot by 3 corresponding and complementary fathers, Vav, Sadi, and Yod, which are the Emperor, the Hierophant, and the Hermit. And he's a virgin too. The trumps 0 and 1 are hermaphrodite. The remaining 14 trumps represent these primordial quintessences of being in conjunction, function, or manifestation. Okay. I know that's a lot to chew on this morning, and I haven't properly chewed and swallowed myself. But I hope that's given you something to think about. And if you don't have a book of lies, I would suggest you shop around for one that also contains on the opposite page of each of the chapters, Crowley's just little one-page commentary on it. Your labors will be well repaid. That's it. Boy, have I gone over today. I bet there's not even anybody watching anymore. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.